Welcome back to the Talk Yours podcast. Today is a somber day in the NBA. Danilo Gallinari has retired after what has been almost 20 years playing professional basketball. He retired playing overseas. Give a quick shout out to one of the not core players of the 2010s, but kind of one of the quintessential players, that sort of European stretch big, like the Davis Bertans and the, that type of guy, right? Kind of also like a Mike Miller, just, better. So yeah, shout out to that guy.
Bucket probably averaged like 18 for his career. Like there was never a season where he couldn't score the ball.
19.8 for the Thunder in 19 or 18-19, and helped lead that team to a tough series against the Warriors. So
the only reason that his NBA career ended is because did he tear his ACL or it was
I think he did.
big injury?
I think because he went to the Hawks and then he tore his ACL. He was also on that Hawks team that made a run to the conference finals.
He was. He rocked the Mohawk and beat the Knicks.
Man.
Shout out Gallinari, Hawks legend.
Shout out Gallinari. Great piece for any team to have. That being said, we're going to get into our topics today. As we do every week, we're going to get into our power rankings first, and then we have a bunch of topics we're gonna talk about. We're going to see what we can all get through in our time today, but there's a lot of different things going on in the NBA right now, and I think we want to get to a lot of them. At the very least, we are going to get to Anthony Davis and his potential landing spots, because it does look like the Mavericks are set on trading him at this point in time. So we've each got 5 trades that we've put together for Anthony Davis, and we're going to kind of give our takes on where we'd like to see him next and where we'd like to see the Mavericks try to reach out for some resources. That being said, we're going to jump into our power rankings. I'm going to go first this week because Corby went first last week. We're going to get right into it, try to go quick here. Some of the teams are going to be very similarly placed. We know who's good, we know who's not. So let's get right into it. Number 10, I have a team that we have yet to see in our power rankings, at least on my end. And this is a team that started the season off very poorly, but has recently had a great uptick in their performance. And it's the Orlando Magic. Now, a lot of people had high expectations for this team coming into the year. Myself, I was one of them. I had them as the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. And they've been pretty disappointing to start the year so far. But, the Orlando Magic, I believe, have the 7th best net rating in the NBA. And what's been really impressive is that their defense is once again a top 10 defense. That's kind of what you come to expect from this Magic team. But they've also had a top 10 offense, and that's something that was a big concern for them in past years and was something people hoped the Desmond Bane trade would fix. And so far, it seems to have done so. They are doing a lot of this without Paulo, and that creates an interesting conversation as to whether or not Paulo is the guy for that team. But Franz looks good, Bane looks good, and I think Paulo is a talented enough guy that when he comes back to this team, if they're gelling, he's just going to add to what has already been a good basketball team. At number 9, I have the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns just had a really good past week where they beat the Lakers, and Booker got hurt. Kind of a weird stretch of games. I think they went 2-2. They lost to the Nuggets, which you kind of expect, and they lost to another team that I believe you would kind of expect them to lose to. But beating the Lakers last night really, they lost to the Thunder by 4, lost to the Nuggets by 18, beat the Kings. So coming into that game last night, they really needed to prove something. Booker goes down in the first quarter, and Dylan Brooks, man, I don't know what's in his system. I don't know if it was just the LeBron hate, residual, but 33 points last night on 15 for 26 from the field, carried them offensively. Colin Gillespie had 28 points. This team is gelling really well right now, and their pieces are playing as you would hope they would. Now, it's just hoping that Devin Booker's injury is nothing major and that Jalen Green can get back on the court soon. This team looks like there's something. They look like a lot more something than we thought they would. And so that's why I have them at 9 this week. Now, at number 8, I have the Toronto Raptors. They're going to fall 2 spots from where I had them last week. That's just because they had a little bit of a tougher week, lost a couple games, got blown out big time by the Knicks. Raptors are still good. They're ironing out their kinks as a team, and I think they will not have such a result against these top teams moving forward. They're still kind of figuring out what everything looks like. Brandon Ingram finally had kind of an inefficient week. So we'll see if the scoring responsibility shifts around a little bit, because he has been their de facto go-to guy as of late. But they're still a very good team, still very talented, and obviously lots of time for them to make moves and add pieces off their bench. At number 7, another team that I have not often had in my top 10, it's the New York Knicks. Knicks had a really good last week. They were on a win streak of 4 games. They beat the Raptors big in their last game by, 24 points. Josh Hart had an incredible week, which is exactly what you're wanting to see out of him, and has not something you've seen out of him. I think I said this earlier, the Knicks kind of go as Josh Hart goes in a lot of ways. And he's been playing well. And obviously we know what Brunson and Cat can do. It's really just if that bench unit with McBride and Clarkson can provide enough offensive support for that starting unit. During the playoffs, I think regular season they'll be fine. But yeah, Knicks got their flow back. They're probably going to be moving up the power rankings here pretty soon again. At number 6, I have the San Antonio Spurs. And the Spurs, with Victor Wembanyama, are 8-4. Without Victor Wembanyama, are 5-2. This is a good basketball team. This is a team that has won in a number of different circumstances. The biggest question mark I have for them is whether or not they're going to be able to balance their guard rotation with Castle coming back soon. Harper just made his return from injury. And the other question is obviously how well Fox fits next to Wemby. But it's kind of hard not to fit next to a 7'6" demigod who can do everything on the court. So I think really it's going to just be interesting to see who gets their minutes cut. I think it'll be Harper probably because you want to play Castle and you want to play Fox. But we will see. Spurs are a good team. They're gelling. They're playing well. And shout out to their role guys for keeping it up while Wemby has been out. At number 5, speaking of a team that's gelling, I got the Miami Heat. The Miami Heat have consistently been one of the top teams in their conference this season and have won games against... Are you good?
You're missing a team. I don't know what team it is. Keep going, but you are definitely missing an important team because just keep going.
I'll keep going.
I'll see who you're missing.
I'll keep going. Gosh, Corby's got to question me all the time. Question my genius.
I will, yes. Keep going.
All right, number 5, I got the Miami Heat. Miami Heat, team that's been gelling all year. Davion Mitchell is your exact point of attack defender that you want. That's why he's remained in the starting lineup with the Miami Heat, even with Tyler Hero coming back, and he had an incredible game last night. And Bam Adebayo. Yeah, I said it right.
You said it right.
I said it right. It just sounded wrong. It just sounded wrong when I said it.
It doesn't sound like a real game.
I gotta just go. Bam Adebayo had a great game. Khalil Ware has had a great stretch of games last night, not as impressive. Only played 15 minutes, I think, but he's had a great stretch of games, look like a really good piece next to Bam. And this team, there's no holes on defense. There's not very many holes on offense. They play solid team basketball. They play together. They play Heat basketball. This is Heat culture at its finest. And I think Eric Spoelstra, this is just highlighting how good of a coach he is. This is really the year where you've got to go. If you've had any reservations about Eric Spoelstra and the talent he's had, no. This dude is an incredible coach. This is a Hall of Fame coach, and deservedly so. At number 4, I have the Denver Nuggets. Now, the Denver Nuggets moved down a spot from last week, and that is for one reason, and one reason in particular. This past week revealed that if Nikola Jokic is not having an incredible game, this team is very vulnerable to lose to poor teams or not very good teams. They lost to the Mavericks last night, and it's not like the Mavericks are this horrible team. They've been playing well recently, but when you look at the overall body of work for the Mavericks, this is not a team that should beat the Nuggets when Nikola Jokic puts up 20, he had 29, 13, and 20. If he puts up that stat line, there's no way you should lose by double digits to this Mavericks team. So I think this past week has highlighted maybe some of the holes in their roster. Obviously, they're missing Aaron Gordon and Christian Brown, so getting those guys back is going to be important. Let's see if they can keep this top 4-3 seed in the West until that happens and those guys come back. At number 3, I have the Houston Rockets. Now, the Houston Rockets last night had what can only be described as a very poor loss to the Utah Jazz, where they were down most of the night and ended up losing the game. And I should probably hold that against them more than I do, but this is a team that has posted the second best net rating in the league consistently, one of the best net ratings of all time. A lot of their problems have come just simply as a result of figuring out who to go to in clutch situations. That guy should be Kevin Durant, but they're also running a lot of it through Alperen Şengün. And Amin Thompson, very weird game last night. 16 points in the first half was definitely their go-to scorer, and then they just completely went away from him down the stretch. He had 20 points with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter and only finished with 23 points. So just an odd offensive game. You would figure they'd ride the hot hand. But, going to Şengün, going to Durant. Also, Yusuf Nurkic had 18 points last night. That should not happen in the year of 2025. They need Steven Adams to play. He did not play last night, and I think that really highlights his importance as a rim protector and a guy who enforces a presence around the basket. At number 2, I have the Detroit Pistons. Now, the Pistons lost their first games in a long while this past week, but they were both close games. I believe they lost to Who was it that they lost to? They
Lost to the Magic.
Yeah, they lost to the Magic, who are playing really well right now, and
the
lost to the Celtics by 3. And the Celtics have also been playing very well as of late. Then they beat the Heat by 3, beat the Hawks by 1. So a lot of close games. Win 2, lose 2. All good teams. I think the Pistons have still looked like the second best team in the NBA so far this season. Maybe not in terms of margin of victory or net rating, but they are getting wins. They've won 17 games, second most wins in the NBA, second best winning percentage in the NBA. The Pistons look for real, and I think they still deserve their due credit until they show me that I shouldn't give it to them. And speaking of deserving their due credit, it's the Oklahoma City Thunder at 1. Are you shocked? You shouldn't be. They're 20-1. They're 20-1. And J-Dub just played his first game of the season this past week. This is a team that people should be absolutely terrified of. It seems to be no stopping them short of a Shai Gilgeous-Alexander injury, which does not look due at all. This is a guy that, while he's missed games at times during his career, has not had one of these major injuries that you would point to and say he's injury prone. It's looking scary for the league. Isaiah Hartenstein is having a much better year this year than he had last year even. Like, we talked about during the offseason, we were like, maybe they need to get more guys. Maybe they shouldn't have stood with the roster they have. The guys on their roster just ended up getting better. So, I mean, shout out to the Thunder. Shout out to the Thunder GM. It's hard to even be mad at this team in a lot of ways because it's like, yeah, they did exactly everything you could ask a tanking team to do and a rebuilding team to do, and they just did it perfectly. It's not the Warriors who got Kevin Durant. It's not the Heat who got LeBron James and Chris Bosh. This is a super team constructed from within, and there's simply nothing we can do to stop it.
Okay, I like it. First, I'll shout out the teams that were just out of my top 10 because they're good teams. The Cavs were out, the Hawks were out, the Wolves were out, and the Suns were out. All of them are about like around 4 games above 500, but they're also really good. At number 10, I have the Toronto Raptors. I understand they did go down 4 spots in 1 week, but I feel like the other teams have really not only proven themselves and had amazing weeks that I had over them, but before the season, I believed in these other teams more than the Raptors. Also, RJ Barrett was out. So in the last 3 games, the Raptors had the best defense, but the worst offense. So clearly RJ Barrett has some value on that Raptors team. He shouldn't be on any sort of trade block like he was in the last couple years because he wasn't necessarily the best fit then. But yeah, Raptors, just a little bit of a down week, but they're still really good. At number 9, I have the San Antonio Spurs. They went 2-1. They do not move from last week's ranking. Maybe I should have them a little higher, but I just believe in the other teams more. Shout out Devin Vassell, dropped 35 points on like 4 misses against the Denver Nuggets in a pure offensive shootout where no team could stop each other. He was playing amazing. And overall, the Spurs, I mean, Fox has been amazing. He's kind of proven me wrong a little bit. I still don't think the Wemby fit is the best, but individually, when Wemby's hurt, which he will be, he's 7'5", he will have hurt games. He is absolutely carrying that Spurs offense. At number 8, the Orlando Magic. I have not had ranked, I don't think like all season, maybe week 1, but they are 3-0 in this last week. They're like 4th in the East. Anthony Black has been playing amazing. Franz, amazing. Desmond Bane has really caught stride. He had like multiple 37-point games, which is weird because it was exactly that 37-point mark. But yeah, the Magic are really catching their stride. Before the season, I was saying that the Magic are better without Paulo Banchero. And so far, that has proven to be the case because I don't know the record at the top of my head, but it's a -5, below 500 record with Paulo and way above without Paulo. I think it's like 5-2 without Paulo or something like that. Oh yeah, did you just notice what team you're missing? Yeah, you'll see because that was pretty stupid. At number 7, I have the New York Knicks. So we have the Knicks the same. They also weren't ranked last week, but they went 3-0 and this is just a contending team. We need contending teams in the top 10, even if technically another team has the same record. I believe in the Knicks. I believe in Miles McBride this last week, averaging 17 points off the bench. Josh Hart, do I think he's a 20-point per game scorer? No, but that's what he did. And I don't know if I'm showing Cam's face when I edit the power rankings, but he is absolutely disappointed in himself. Jalen Brunson, looking like an MVP kind of guy. He's looking like playoff Jalen Brunson, averaging 30 points per game when he's a 32-point per game guy in the playoffs. So if he can keep this up, the Knicks can no doubt be a 2nd seed in the Eastern Conference. And then, am I missing anyone? Mikal Bridges is still playing good. They're without OG Anunoby. Yeah. At number 6, the Miami Heat went 2-1 last week. They go up 2 spots in my power ranking. They are doing Heat things. Cam kind of said it all. Tyler Hero's back. He's playing amazing. Norman Powell's still doing his thing, even with Tyler Hero being back. Clell Ware is off the bench, not playing as many minutes, but still is 8-8 in like 17 minutes a game. You got Bam Adebayo back. You got Andrew Wiggins really buying into his role. Jaime Jaquez now has a lesser role, but he's still doing good in that. They have Davion Mitchell. They're just an all-around solid team. I don't want to go as far to say as they are contenders, but they are looking like contenders as of this moment. At number 5, I had the Denver Nuggets. They went down one spot, went 1-2. In the last week, they were the best. It's kind of the opposite of what the Raptors were, because they were the best offense, but they were the worst defense. If the Nuggets want to truly be contenders, they have to get their defense up. They started playing Spencer James more, and he is a good defender, but you can't just have one good defender on your team. I think it is Spencer James, right?
Spencer Jones?
Is it Spencer Jones?
Is
I
it
feel like James is like
Jones?
from a TV show that I watched. So maybe it's Spencer Jones.
I
think it is Spencer Jones.
I think it's Spencer Jones.
Okay. No, it is Jones.
Gosh, Corby, how could you forget that? How could you forget such a big part of the Denver Nuggets?
I know, crazy. They are missing a couple players like Gordon, like Brown, like Strother. I don't know how much. Maybe Aaron Gordon will help their defense. I don't know how much Brown is a solid defender. Strother won't help their defense though. But overall, yeah, Jokic doing amazing things. Offensively, this team, like everyone individually, has been great. It is just you have to step up defensively. At number 4, a team that Cam didn't have on his list. I'm going to Los Angeles Lakers. They went 3-1 last week, and they were beating up on some bad teams. Yeah, sure, but you have to kind of do that. Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves are like playing like the best duo in the league right now. Those two, the American white boy and the Slovenian white boy, just absolutely killing it. DeAndre Ayton has also been playing amazing. He averaged like 18 points per game on like 80% shooting last week. If Ayton is locked in, I don't know what JJ Redick is doing to him, feeding him. I don't know what it is, but Ayton's playing amazing. And if that can happen, then you don't even need Roy to be amazing, like because he wasn't last week. You don't need LeBron to be LeBron up until the playoffs. And we might talk about that in a little bit. But yeah, the Lakers have been solid. At number 3, I have them down one spot. It's the Detroit Pistons. They've still been really good. Yeah, they played 4 close games, won 2, lost 2. Just because I have them down in the power rankings doesn't mean I feel some sort of way about them. Like, no, I still think they can be contenders. And if they go 500 the rest of the season, they're probably still, if I'm doing my math right, they might still be like a 50-win team. So, yeah, they're the number 3 team. I didn't even shout out Jaden Ivey, and then Jenkins didn't even play that good off the bench. It was really just a Cade Cunningham carry. Like Cade Cunningham played amazing outside of averaging 6.5 turnovers per game, but he kind of had to do it to keep them in the game. So you can't blame him. Everyone's kind of coming back, finding their stride. Like Asar Thompson's back. We'll see how Ron Holland starts to play. But at number 2, the Houston Rockets. This is a team that I thought without Fred VanVleet wouldn't be able to really compete, especially in the regular season. And they have been doing that. Amen Thompson kind of had a down week, but everyone else, like Kevin Durant, played amazing. Sengun averaged 25 points per game. I think that Steven Adams in only like 1 or 2 of the games. And all around, like there's just players that are helping out. They did lose to the Utah Jazz, but guess what? If you're a team like the Houston Rockets, losing to the Utah Jazz is not that bad of a loss. I'd rather lose to them than lose to a good team, because the good teams are going to be the ones you're playing in the playoffs. But yeah, all around, they played solid. And then the OKC Thunder. I'm not even going to say too much. Cam kind of said it all. 3-0. Shea averaged like 34 points per game last week. J-Dub's back, and his scoring isn't as good right now, but he's doing the playmaking things. He's playing elite defense. Chet's been amazing. Hartenstein, unfortunately, just got hurt for the next, most likely, like 2 weeks. So I hope for a speedy recovery, because I really do want to see this team break the NBA win record. I think that'd be really cool. But yeah, so you didn't have the Lakers.
Yeah, so the Lakers are 4th. The Lakers are 4th.
So you're moving
moving everyone else down. So my list now goes Thunder, Pistons, Rockets, Lakers, Nuggets, Heat, Spurs, Knicks, Raptors, Suns.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was really, really dumb. Like,
do you have anything to say about the Lakers?
About the Lakers? I think the biggest thing I have to say about the Lakers is that Austin Reeves has been playing absolutely incredible to start the year, and they've needed it. And I think that is one thing where you would hope that as LeBron comes back, that would balance out some of that offensive production, because Austin Reeves, while he has been incredible as a guy, I see much more as like a 23, 24 point per game guy than this 28, 29 point per game guy he has been. Now, could he maintain that? Sure. Should he, for the best interest of the Lakers? Probably not. It's probably better if LeBron's averaging like 22 and Reeves is averaging like 23.
But wouldn't it be maybe in the playoffs, but for the regular season, you kind of want LeBron to do as little as possible.
Sure, but and maybe this is already kind of telling. I am looking to the playoffs for like, a lot of these teams already, because I feel like barring a big injury, we know that the Thunder, Pistons, Lakers, Nuggets, Rockets are going to be in the playoffs.
Yeah, I think those are the guaranteed. Everyone else, there's some like I guess you could. I'd say like the Knicks. I would bet a lot of money on the Knicks.
Oh,
being a
the
top
Knicks
6
too.
seed.
So even though the Knicks aren't as high in my power rankings, I would also say that they are pretty much a guaranteed playoff team. So yeah.
And I'd probably end it there. I mean, the only other team you could kind of say is maybe the Cavs, but the Cavs aren't even top 10, like, and they've been kind of struggling, so I can't even guarantee that.
That's true. Yeah.
So cool. Then yeah, that's our power rankings. We didn't really have anything too far apart outside of maybe like our Spurs ranking. So I just couldn't put the Spurs that. I guess you had them 7, I had them 9. It's not that big of a difference. I didn't have the Suns in my top 10. They were just right out of it. I mean, to be honest, no, they weren't. I'd probably put them around 14, the Suns, because I probably have teams like the Cavs and the Hawks and the Timberwolves over them.
That's interesting. I just think given their body of work and what they've done, it's they're not getting as much credit, I feel like, as the Miami Heat because of what we already perceived the Miami Heat to be and what people thought Phoenix was going to be before this year. But they're a very similar team in terms of the fact that they just have a bunch of solid, like at the very least, solid defenders surrounded by these couple of guys that can, have the high level offensive production.
But individually, outside of Booker, the Heat just are better. Like they have better players.
Yes, which I mean, they're 6th in my ranking, for a reason. Like I think the Heat are a very good team, but the Suns. Mark Williams is a very solid center. The problem has never been his talent. It's always been if he can stay healthy, and he has been healthy this year. Dylan Brooks is showing what he could do when he is given a full leash to be a number 2 offensive option. They still have Jalen Green coming back from injury, and even though he hasn't played very many games, I think he might have only just played the one. He played incredibly in that one game, and we know that he can be an offensive engine. And Colin Gillespie and Grayson Allen have both had really great offensive seasons by their standards, and they haven't even played Malawach, which is a weapon that you have just sitting on your bench. A center rotation of Mark Williams and Malawach sounds really incredible. Now, rookie centers do often struggle, but Malawach has the physical tools to just be very impactful around the rim and very impactful as a shot blocker and a rebounder. Because are they still running Iguodaro as their bench big? He's been solid. I have no problem with him, but Malawach has the talent to take that bench unit to the next level. So
well, what sucks for Malawach right now is he is the 4th center in the depth chart because they do have Mark Williams over him, Iguodaro, Nick Richards, and then Malawach. Like Nick Richards has actually been getting minutes because of Mark Williams being hurt some games.
Yeah.
So speaking of, let's just go right into let's talk about the Suns. Let's talk about let's talk about Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
So it is very clear that Anthony Davis is going to be traded, I would say this season, if not this offseason, but probably before the deadline. I feel like AD knows he's going to be traded. I feel like the front office knows they're going to trade him. I feel like every other team knows he's going to be traded. It's only Mark Cuban that's denying it right now, which is very interesting because he's not even a majority owner, but he has to kind of save his stock, I guess, try and get AD's value up as high as it can get. So we have come up each with 5 different trades, and I'm assuming a lot of the teams might be similar. So it probably won't be 10 different trades. It'll just be like,
I think we'll have 8 different trades, is my guess.
Okay, and I wanted to elaborate on the Suns more because my first trade, I'll pick the Suns one for my first trade. I think that the Phoenix Suns should kind of be bought in on winning right now, not only because they're playing good right now, but because I don't believe they have many of their own draft picks. Like, I don't think they have this year's draft pick. I could be wrong. I don't know. But pretty much, I think that AD and Booker would be such a good duo if AD could just stay healthy. I'll show my trades on the screen for you guys. But yeah, I don't value Anthony Davis as highly as I probably should. And it's just because we don't know how healthy he could be. Yeah. But my first trade is Anthony Davis to the Suns for Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, Nick Richards, and a 2027 pick via Utah, Cleveland, or Minnesota. I believe it's the worst of those 3. So pretty much the only real assets you're getting, I guess you could flip Royce O'Neal because he's been good, would be Jalen Green, and then probably a pick that's going to be in like the middle of the 20s. Jalen Green played amazing in that one game, don't get me wrong, but the Suns haven't needed him to be this good. So I really think that trading Jalen Green isn't the worst thing ever because they're successful without him. So you just think of the Suns now as in you're trading Royce O'Neal for Anthony Davis. You're going to win more games now. They're already like, what, 12-8 or something around there. They're going to win a lot more. And then the Mavericks get Jalen Green back. Jalen Green is still only 22, 23 years old. He's going to be next to Cooper Flagg. He's kind of similar in that timeline. Obviously, Cooper Flagg is like the youngest player in the league. He's still 18. In this day, he is still 18 years old, which is crazy. So Jalen Green is 5 years older, but he's on a good contract, only $30 million a year. You do lose. You don't really get a big back. You get Nick Richards back, but Derek Lively and Gafford should be able to fill that role. I feel like you could still kind of win some games this season while developing Jalen Green, while developing Cooper Flagg, and then next season, you just build with this core. I think what the Mavericks need to do is build a legit young core next to Cooper Flagg, and this is a step to do it. So did you have the Suns as one of your teams?
I did not.
What do you think?
I think it's an interesting trade. I don't disagree with any of the points you made. The thing is, I look at the Suns and I say, let's see how the roster actually looks before we try to make a move, because we haven't seen what the Jalen Green Suns look like yet. We haven't seen a fully healthy Suns team.
Well, yeah, but their guards have been good. Like Grayson Allen has been good. Colin Gillespie has been good.
They have been really good, but I mean, why would we assume that they can't be better with Jalen Green and not have to give up all of these resources?
Maybe they could be better, but they don't have many future draft picks.
And also, I don't know. I mean, maybe the Mavericks are fine to stand with Dick Gafford and Lively as their bigs and not get a big back. Anyway.
So if you're the Mavericks, are you saying yes or no?
Remind me of the exact
Anthony Davis for Jalen Green, Royce O'Neal, Nick Richards, and a 2027 first that will most likely be in the mid-20s.
I'm saying no if I'm the Mavericks, simply because Royce O'Neal and Nick Richards are two guys that I don't know are going to be on my roster next year when Kyrie Irving comes back. So I feel like in terms of what the Mavericks are looking at when they want to keep Kyrie Irving and be on this timeline of competing next year with Cooper Flagg in his second year, getting back 2 of 3 pieces that you don't know you're going to be able to roster. And then what is essentially
Nick Richards is on a 1-year deal. Royce O'Neal is on a 3-year deal, only $10 million a year.
Like I'm sorry. I get, okay. So Royce O'Neal's on a 1-year deal.
No, Royce O'Neal's on a 3-year deal. 10
and Royce O'Neal is the guy I would rather have as that piece.
Yeah, Nick Richards is on a 1-year, $5 million.
My biggest thing is they already have a D'Angelo Russell problem. Jalen Green is just kind of the modern version of that in a lot of ways. Unless he develops as a playmaker more, I don't see him contributing to this team in a role that would benefit Cooper Flagg, because what they really should look to get in a lot of ways out of this trade, I feel like, is either a guard of the future who's a distributor, or a guy right now who can play point guard next to Cooper Flagg, because their priority
next to Kyrie Irving. They have Kyrie Irving.
Next to Kyrie Irving, but
unless you think Kyrie Irving should be shipped if AD is shipped.
I personally think he should be if he's shipped, but with what the Mavericks are saying, I think it even still benefits Cooper Flagg to have a very distribution heavy point guard in terms of his play this year.
I mean, you could argue they already have a heavy distribution point guard. Ryan Nembhard's whole game is passing.
So yeah, that's true.
So if you're the Mavericks, you're saying no. If you're the Suns,
I'm saying yes. So I don't think it's a bad trade at all. I think one side being close to saying yes and the other side saying yes means it's not a bad trade. I just think there are more situations out there where teams can definitively go, this is where we're at as a team, so we want to get this in order to get better. Okay. And I'm going to go to the first of those right now, and that is the Chicago Bulls. Now, the Chicago Bulls came out and said essentially that they are looking to replicate what the Indiana Pacers did in getting their so-called Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. They want to develop Josh Giddey into being their Tyrese Halliburton, not one-for-one play style-wise, but that role, and then get their Pascal Siakam next to him. Now, do I agree that Josh Giddey is a Tyrese Halliburton level player? I don't. I think Tyrese Halliburton has shown in his performance last year and also in the team's performance this year without him just how valuable of a player he is. That being said, I do think Josh Giddey is a very good, I think in terms of talking about point guard options and guys that can play the point guard role, he's a pretty good option. I mean, he's definitely up there, especially for the type of point guard he is, which is more of a distributor. So this is the trade I put together. I said Anthony Davis for Nikola Vucevic, Trey Jones, Noah Senge, and a 2029 first. The reason I included that 2029 first is because Anthony Davis is on a 3-year contract, so his deal will have expired in 2029, and the Bulls will likely be without him at that point in time, or will have re-signed him, but he'll be a lot older. So that pick should be decent, I'd imagine, at that point
Hey,
in time.
remind me what the pick is again. Sorry.
2029 first round pick
So a first, Vucevic, Trey Jones, Noah Senge.
for Anthony Davis. Now, Vucevic is essentially in there to be a salary match. I don't know that the Mavericks necessarily want Vucevic, but he's on a 1-year deal, so they can get off that pretty easily. Trey Jones is a legit point guard when you talk about a guy playing the point guard role, and the Bulls really don't need him if they view Josh Giddey as their point guard guy, unless they really value having that point guard off the bench. And Noah Senge is a guy who's not getting minutes for the Bulls right now, and they seem like they want to compete. So the Mavericks getting him and getting another really young player to go next to Cooper Flagg would seem to be a good move, because Noah Senge might develop in the next 2 years, might not. The Mavericks have more of that time to be able to give to that.
Maybe I mean, I'm not gonna lie. If I'm the Mavericks, I don't like that. I don't think you're getting a legit. I guess the first round pick is the best asset, and then maybe Noah Senge. I feel like most people didn't like the Noah Senge pick too much, and I don't think people believe in Noah Senge. I don't really, honestly.
But he's 18 years old at this point. And if you're the Mavericks, you kind of know you're going to be in the lottery next year anyway. So why not commit to the youth movement? I mean, at least get a guy he's 18 years old. He has so much time to develop. Send him down to the G League this year and have him play there, or have him play minutes in your rotation. You know what I mean? But the Mavericks can afford more to play Noah Senge than the Bulls can, because the Bulls are trying to compete, and the Mavericks have kind of resigned themselves to the idea that we are going to be bad this year and we are going to be a lottery team. So I feel like they have the ability to give him that opportunity.
I guess I can see that. My Chicago Bulls trade was Anthony Davis, Caleb Martin, D'Lo, and a 2nd round pick. This is to make salaries match. For Vucevic, Patrick Williams, Kobe White, and then a 2026 first round. So this year's. So this is like an idea where this trade happens at the deadline. So the Bulls pick will be probably in like the late teens, probably like around 2021 or something. Because AD ideally elevates this Bulls team. And you trade Kobe White, who I think could be a good scoring option. He's not as young as you'd want him to be for like a Cooper Flagg kind of thing. And then Patrick Williams is kind of like honestly, Vucevic and Patrick Williams are kind of like salary fillers. But overall, this is for Kobe White. Kobe White in the first for AD is pretty much what it is.
I just don't see the Bulls making this deal, honestly. I think the Bulls like Kobe White too much. I think as much as they'll say we're looking at Josh Giddey as our Halliburton and we're trying to get his Siakam, I think Kobe White is a very integral piece of that team.
He might be, but this is for Anthony Davis. Like, I really don't think Trey Jones and Noah Senge, like, I don't think they're cutting it. When other teams have so much more to offer, like, honestly, I included the Bulls because I had to do either this or like any other team would have a better package. And we could talk about those other teams. Let me just go ahead and get to my next one. Because to be honest, my opinion on AD on the Bulls is it's fine, but other teams, you either have to give up too much or other teams have a better package. So I just don't think it's realistic on your end for the Bulls. Yeah, like Trey Jones. Like, I don't think people care about Trey. I know he's having a good season.
He's always a consistently good point guard.
But how old is he? And maybe like him in
25.
And I guess Kobe White is only like what? He's probably
Kobe White's 25.
And he's 25.
They're the same age.
I guess I could see it. I'm looking at how Ryan Nembhard's playing, and I'm thinking that's the same thing as
Ryan
Trey
Nembhard
Jones.
had like a couple good games.
He's a rookie. He's
I guess, but like,
I mean that's just what you're gonna. I mean he is an older rookie. Don't get me wrong. He was a 4-year college player, but I don't know. My next trade is Anthony Davis to the Pistons. The Pistons are going all in on we could win this year. Look at our record. We could do this. Tobias Harris for salary. Jaden Ivey, Ron Holland, and this year's first round pick. So most likely a bottom 5 first round pick for AD. The Pistons go all in on defense. They will be the best defensive team outside of maybe the Thunder. And even then, if they get Anthony Davis for players like Ron Holland and Tobias Harris, they might be up there with OKC as in like one of the best defensive teams ever. They're getting a legit second scoring option guy. And in reality, you're kind of just trading when it comes to how they've been playing. You're kind of just trading Tobias Harris and Ron Holland for AD because Jaden Ivey is a great piece at all, but he has contributed almost nothing to their actual wins. I mean, he had a couple good games when he returned, but like he's been out most of the season, and that's when they've been successful. The Pistons have too many good guys; they don't even need their first round pick. And then the Mavericks, they get a guy in Jaden Ivey who could pair well next to Cooper Flag. He actually fits the timeline. I think Jaden Ivey's only 22 years old. Ron Holland's only like 21 or 20 years old, and are these two like the best fits next to Cooper Flag? No, you might want some more like shooters, but these guys could turn into something. This could be a legit point guard shooting guard duo next to Cooper Flag that could be really good. And then you get an additional first round pick. Are you in? Like, it also just depends on how much do you believe in Jaden Ivey?
It's not that the piece I'm concerned about is not even a piece you've talked about in your trade. I believe in Jalen Duren. Jalen Duren has been better than Anthony Davis, even when both have played this year.
Well,
and Jalen Duren has also played more games.
Well, AD is a 4.
80 is a 4, but it's not like you're starting him over Jalen Duren. It's that he's taking away touches from Jalen Duren. And I get it's Anthony Davis, but I don't dislike the trade. I feel very similarly to how I feel about that Suns trade, where it's like, yeah, this is close to something I could see happening, but I don't really like it for the Pistons. I get you're getting Anthony Davis. I get you're getting that guy, and maybe him and Duren could be this incredible duo, right?
They could throw lobs to each other. I mean,
maybe they could be an absolutely incredible duo, but with where it's at right now, we've seen very little of Jaden Ivey on the court with the Pistons. Now, Tobias Harris and Ron Holland are pieces that you would sacrifice, I think, in a heartbeat for a guy like Anthony Davis.
do you believe in Duren? I guess this could be a topic for a whole new video. Do you believe in Duren and Cade being a championship duo? Because Cade's been having to average 30 for them to be this good. Do you want Cade averaging 30? Do you think he could do that? Could he be like a Brunson in the playoffs? But he'd have to add more than Brunson.
I feel like
he's a better defender. And
but
all that.
the thing is, you're saying averaging 30, like this isn't something he can just do. I'm
asking you.
I think he can't. I think, yes, I think Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham can be a championship duo.
There's no.
I said this team would be in the finals at the start of this year. So yes, I didn't think Duren was going to be this good. I thought it would be more Jaden Ivey and Cade Cunningham. But looking at this team, yeah, I do think Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham can be a championship duo.
So I guess you don't see it because you believe the Pistons are really like that. I think most NBA fans and some GMs would say, although the Pistons have been this good, are they truly contenders? Are they confident enough to not make a big move and go all in? Because this is going all in. Because the only reason you'd have Jaden Ivey right now is for the belief in a couple years he'd be really good. Because he's not really good right now. And they are a championship team. Ron Holland is not really good right now. Ron Holland has not been that good this season. I believe in him. I thought he should have been a top 3 pick in the draft that he went in.
But I just think
you don't need this first round pick. You don't need Tobias Harris.
You don't.
I mean, Tobias Harris is a good fit. I will say that.
If you can give up more picks and not Jaden Ivey, I think that would be ideal. You probably do have to give up Jaden Ivey, though.
For salary. Unless you want to give up Duncan, which Duncan, yes, it is a worse piece, but also the Mavericks wouldn't need Duncan as much. And Duncan's a better fit next to Cade.
He is.
He's been killing it. Ivy hasn't. So there's no reason to,
I just like Duren too much in the role he's in, and I feel like he needs more opportunity to even expand in that role.
Okay, so you'd say Pistons
I say
no.
Pistons say no.
What do the Mavericks say?
I think Mavericks say yes, easily. You get to pair Jaden Ivey next to, Cooper Flag.
And Ron Holland.
And Ron Holland.
The only thing with Ivy is he is, by the way, Ivy didn't sign his extension. He could just leave.
That's true, but that probably also hurts his value in the trade market. And because if teams know that he won't re-sign with the Pistons, they're not going to want to give up as much.
Yeah. But in this scenario, the Mavericks...
Okay.
The Mavericks are offering it. But yeah, okay. We can move on.
I don't dislike this trade. Anyway, so your second trade was the Bulls trade.
Yeah.
And this one was your third
That
trade.
was my third.
So I'm going to quickly hit off my next two. This trade, to me, is very interesting. You are the Philadelphia 76ers. How much do you believe in Tyrese Maxey? Because if you believe that Tyrese Maxey is your guy...
He's the franchise.
You believe he's the franchise, then you try to trade VJ Edgecombe for Anthony Davis and include one of Paul George or Joel Embiid as a salary matcher.
That would be nasty. If BJ Edgecombe paired up with Cooper Flag, yeah, that would be ridiculous. I actually love that idea. Honestly, kind of definitely for the Mavericks.
So this is the trade I put in because I think if you're the 76ers, you do hold on to Embiid over Paul George. So you trade Paul George and VJ Edgecombe for Anthony Davis. I don't know if you'd include a pick because VJ Edgecombe is such a high valued prospect and rookie.
That's so interesting.
Yeah, this is my second trade. And I think if you are the Sixers, yes, you love VJ Edgecombe, but you've already got Maxey, who is killing shit. I mean, he's still averaging, I think, 30 plus a game this season. He's been their definitive best player. He's been one of the best players in the league. He's a borderline MVP candidate. Why not pair him up next to Anthony Davis? And then let's say Joel Embiid can get healthy. So you've got Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, Anthony Davis.
Yeah, that's a big three.
That's a big three.
You still have some players. Yeah, McCain.
Now, my bigger question is, do the Mavericks go for this? Do you think VJ is enough of a,
Because, the problem is you have to take on one of those salaries.
And they're not salaries that you're going to get off of anytime soon.
To be honest, I really think the Mavericks would value a guy like Edgecombe over AD. Mm-hmm. I think that value is high. It's just that you don't want to pay Paul George.
You don't want to, but look, even though Paul George is 35 and he's not very good, a situation where he's playing next to Kyrie Irving and he doesn't have to be any type of ball dominant player.
Get out of here. That should be that's pretty much his role right now.
That is actually his role right now.
He's not the same situation.
He's not very good in it. So, I mean, yeah, that's the hard part. You got to take on that contract, but Philly gets to get off of Paul George's contract and get an Anthony Davis contract for the same number of years. And
you have to add some picks. Actually, now I do think because.
So let's see what picks Philly has. Philly has a first round pick via the Clippers with no protections in 2028.
Oh, they have a Clippers pick?
They have a first from the Paul George thing. Was it Paul George thing a sign and trade, or did they sign Paul George in free agency?
No, I think they just signed it. Maybe it was a sign.
Anyway, they have 2028 round 1 via Los Angeles Clippers, no protection. This was the pick I think we looked at before.
I don't think you trade that pick though. That pick sounds like it's going to be too good. I wouldn't
for Anthony Davis.
Yeah, you already giving up Edgecombe. You can't give up a Clippers pick.
So Philly has the right to swap. It's 2020.
If Philly has one of their own picks in the future, you trade one of those. And maybe, like 4 years from now, well, if Maxey's still at 76er, they're going to win games regardless.
So then you could trade, they don't have their pick this year. You could trade your 2027 first round pick.
Then yeah, do that.
You could trade, so 2027
And is that like the best pick ever? Probably not, but it's a pick. And you have to add that to trade for Paul George. I actually like that for both sides. I do.
Okay, so
I think it's a great idea of one team who has Cooper Flag getting young and one team who is capitalizing on 2 stars. It just sucks that, do you want to go all in on a team with Joel Embiid?
You have to, I think.
If you're going to keep Embiid, you have to.
Yeah.
But you don't trade AD for Embiid.
No, because I don't think the Mavericks would want Embiid.
No. And then you can't give up Embiid and Edgecombe.
Yeah.
So yeah, it would have to be that. I don't hate that though. If they want to go all in, I mean, they're still like a couple games above 500. We didn't have them in the top 10, but they're still a good team. They become a great team if Embiid.
And also, you have to be good this year to keep your pick.
Oh right, yeah. So I like that for sure.
Okay, so that's my second trade. This is my next trade, and I think this one is pretty interesting. It really depends on how you look at these two guys and these two teams. Evan Mobley and a 2030 first for Anthony Davis. Now, Evan Mobley is a great player. He's a great young player. The Cleveland Cavaliers are not capitalizing on Donovan Mitchell having a career year. And Anthony Davis is a better player than Evan Mobley as of right now. You don't know how long Donovan Mitchell is going to be good for. He's 29 years old. This is your championship window. Evan Mobley is not improving as an offensive player, or at least he has not yet this year. And that's really what you need for him to take that next step and become a secondary offensive option. Anthony Davis gives you the defense and the offense, and I think makes Cleveland more of a title contender this year than Evan Mobley does.
They might, but I don't think you want to go all in because of a Donovan Mitchell career year, because already seen so many injuries with Jared Allen, with Darius Garland, that you can't go all in with
I
this
guess, but
team.
he's their best player.
He is their best player, and they become better this season, but Mobley can't. You say Mobley has improved over the last couple of years. Maybe like the stat lines are the same.
Yeah, but
I think he's become a better defender than his like rookie sophomore
He's plateauing. Like he's 25 or 24 years old, and he's become like he's an 18-point per game guy.
I guess he's plateaued, but also like his 3-point shot has been going up. He's taking different look. Like he looked amazing next to Jared Allen last year. They just won 68 games.
Yeah, and they're 13-9 this year. So they won 68 games last year, and they're 4 losses away from having more losses this year than they did last year. And they didn't win 68; they won 64 games. So they're you know, if they double their losses, they're at the most. They're at their level of losses from last year. So they're already halfway to their loss total from last year.
I mean, clearly they're not as good as that year. And I just wouldn't do it.
Who's to blame for that?
They don't have their future picks. If it doesn't work out, AD gets hurt, some big AD injury happens.
Okay.
Now you're trading Donovan Mitchell, or Mitchell might leave in the offseason. No, there's too many things that could go wrong. I think Mobley.
How about this?
Before the season, I was saying Mobley was their best player, and I don't feel that way now. But I still believe Evan Mobley can grow his game.
Yeah,
he is modern, not as good, nowhere near as good, but just player comparison, like whatever. He is modern Tim Duncan. Mm-hmm. Like he still gives you a great amount of defense, and he's still a good offensive player. He's still giving you 18 on a team with a bunch of scores.
Okay, so how about this then? Because I do believe that the Cavs should try to trade for Anthony Davis if they can. Darius Garland instead of Evan Mobley. Sam Merrill for a bit of the salary, and also Sam Merrill is a decent three-point shooting piece. He's on a 4-year contract for Anthony Davis, and you also still give up that 2030 first. Do you think that's a better trade?
I like the idea. The problem is you have to change everything. You now have to trade Jared Allen. You can't have Mobley, Jared Allen, and Anthony Davis on the team together. But I do love it. I think there's something to work with there. I think you could do a 3-team trade. Mm-hmm. I like the idea of Garland in Dallas. Mm-hmm. I really love that. Now you have to like immediately. You could try and have them work together, but you have to get rid of Kyrie Irving. Like I just don't think those.
I mean, there's a lot of other moving pieces that have to go into this trade. Jared Allen has to go out of Cleveland, and Kyrie Irving probably has to go out of Dallas.
So if you give me like a Mobley, Anthony Davis duo, and you get something back for Jared Allen, that would
Jared
be
Allen's on a 4-year, $20 million a year contract, so that's decently easy to trade. Probably end up getting some sort of like. What do they really need? You need a defensive guard. You need a good...
Dude, get Herb Jones.
Yeah,
you trade...
Get Herb Jones.
It just sucks that Herb Jones gets hurt so much.
Yeah, trade Jared Allen, get Herb Jones. Mavericks, trade... Kyrie's on such a friendly deal. $36.5 million, 3 years. Who could you trade?
Honestly, that's like a Jalen Green. Then you just trade
Kyrie for...
they're not doing... Oh, Kyrie and Booker sounds
No, I know that sounds good. I'm just saying why the Mavericks, you want to get a little more out of Kyrie, I think, than just...
Jalen Green? You're getting 10 years younger. The salary, like Jalen Green.
Maybe you try to get, but it's Jalen Green, dude. I mean,
Jalen
Green is one of those guys that's on the edge between is he even playable in the type of role he tries to play on the court.
He's still like a decent enough. Like he's an average defender. I'd say he's like an average defender.
But he has to take. He has to take a little
Garland next to him.
I know, but he has to take a little bit more of the back seat then, scoring wise. So do you believe that Jalen Green can do that?
Does he? I actually think there's a world where he's the best scorer between the three. But Garland's doing more of the playmaking. Cooper Flagg's doing a bit of like everything.
Maybe, but do you want that?
I guess you don't want Cooper Flagg being in a Scotty Barnes kind of role.
Mm-hmm. That's like kind of the worst thing you could do for him. And no offense to Scotty Barnes, but you don't want Cooper Flagg to become Scotty Barnes.
No, you don't. So, yeah, a lot of working pieces. I don't like the Mobley thing. An idea of Garland going to Dallas is good, though. I like that.
All right,
cool. Now I can give my fourth. Let's see. What did I have cooked up? So
what is he cooking?
Their record isn't good so far, but if they do want to kind of capitalize on them being good this season, but also Damian Lillard coming back next season, it's the Portland Trailblazers.
Yep. Now I also have a Portland Trailblazers trade, so I want to hear yours first, and then I want to compare it with mine.
Okay. So mine is, I'm trying to zoom in. I can barely see it. Whatever. Mine is Anthony Davis for Jeremy Grant, who is pretty much salary filler. Mm-hmm. Time Lord, who is salary filler. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to see what pick. And then 2 future firsts. So unfortunately, you're not. Oh, now that I'm looking at it, because I was maybe I was a little tired when I was making this. You might have to add in like Scoot Henderson or something. I guess that would be the idea. Is that what you did?
So
give me
my
yours.
trade that I've got is Anthony Davis to the Portland Trailblazers for Jeremy Grant, Scoot Henderson, and 2 future firsts. So a 2027 first, which if you're the Blazers, you believe that you'll be good that year with Damian Lillard and Anthony Davis, and then a 2028 first via Orlando, which could go a lot of different ways. It's probably going to be like a mid-teens pick,
Yeah.
if not early 20s. That's kind of the trade I've got in mind for Portland.
So actually, yeah, I love that. Especially if they plan on keeping Drew, they could have Damian Lillard, Drew Holiday, Denny Avdia, Anthony Davis, Donovan Clingan. Off the bench, you have Shaden Sharp, you have Kamara, you have like that. That's a good team.
And listen, Scoot's still 21 years old. I mean, he's still a young guy, and he obviously had all of this potential going into the draft. He was the definitive number 2 pick after Victor Wembanyama. That says something about.
He's not even that much older than Cooper Flag, too. Like it
No.
is the same timeline. He's probably 21. Like he was. I'm pretty sure
he's
he was.
20. He's 21.
He's 21.
Yeah. So I think it's a good pick for the Mavericks to get, and you're also getting 2 firsts back that you can use. And yeah, the Blazers give Dame his like last team to go compete with, which they should. I mean, you look at that roster. Then you've got Drew Holiday, Denny Avdia, Damian Lillard, Anthony Davis, and Donovan Clingan.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. And then you
Shaden Sharp off the bench.
Shaden Sharp off the bench, Tumani Kamara off the bench. You can even start Kamara if you want over like a Drew Holiday if you really believe in Kamara's defense.
In your trade, you're keeping Time Lord, so that's a good backup big. Hopefully,
I mean, Time Lord's on a like 1-year deal, but then he's got it says
Yeah,
plus
take-
1.6 mil ULI. Do you know what that means? Is that like a team option thing?
ULI.
Yeah. So so it
Unlisted?
says 13.2 million 1 year plus 1.6 million ULI.
I don't know what that means, but yeah, dude, take advantage of Damian Lillard making 10 million a year, 15 million a year, whatever the contract is. And yeah, I love that idea. Yeah, I totally should have added Scoot instead because yeah, these bottom 2 first round picks most likely. I mean, I'm not gonna say most likely because like what looks like the Blazers one, at least that one, the one I picked is in 2029. You actually have no idea what's gonna happen in 2029. So maybe you do like you add Scoot Henderson and you have the 2 picks, but that Blazers pick in 2029 is protected like
The thing
1
is,
through
yeah,
10.
2029,
1 through
Anthony
8.
Davis's contract is up. Damian Lillard's contract is up. You have no idea. Drew Holiday's contract is up. Denny's contract is up. Yeah, the only guy under contract until that point is Shaden Sharp.
Yeah. So the only argument I could see is Scoot Henderson has had like he had a decent year last year, but before that he was a bad NBA player.
Yeah, I'm
Trading
sorry.
him for Anthony Davis it is kind of a risk.
Yeah, but I would rather, if I'm the Blazers, bet on Damian Lillard and Denny Avdia and this team that I have right now than hope that Scoot Henderson in the next 2 years before his contract is up is going to become a player worth re-signing for the amount of money that a player like that would command, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's fair. Okay.
So
My very last trade. Here,
Yep.
I'll go ahead real quick. It
hear
could
it.
even be the same team. By the way, this is just a bonus trade. This does not count. The Lakers could get Anthony Davis without giving up Austin Reeves, Luka Doncic, or LeBron James. That's kind of crazy
who do
salary-wise.
they get? Oh, it's just salary-wise.
So it's Roy Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber, Dalton Connett. That would all make the salary match. You have to trade.
Why would the Mavericks make that deal?
I'm not saying that and you add 2 first-round picks, but I'm not saying that like I'm just saying.
Yeah, if
the
I
fact
throw
that the salary is possible.
sprinkles on a pile of shit, that doesn't mean I want to eat it. Like what? Gabe Vincent, Maxi Kleber.
I don't know how many players they'd have on the roster.
They tried to already trade Dalton Connect last year, and then they just got him back. So it's like,
but that was on the Lakers side. For some reason, the Lakers said no, and Mark Williams has been great. But I guess Ayton's been great, so you can't regret that trade.
so I just, yeah, I don't like that very much for the Mavericks. You're getting almost like you're getting what Jared. So it was Jared
Okay,
Vanderbilt.
no, I'm not saying the Mavericks automatically say no matter what.
Okay.
I'm just saying
It's
the fact
for
that it's
sal- for
possible.
salary.
The fact that it's possible that could happen. I mean, also if it was Nico Harrison still in the front office, maybe it would happen.
Shit,
it
man.
could.
Maybe you try to trade Austin Reeves to get Anthony Davis back. I know Austin Reeves has been great. I know the Lakers love Austin Reeves.
I guess, yeah, good work. I
LeBron and Luka next to AD.
that would be nasty. If they don't win the chip this year, then it's cooked. That's the problem.
I mean, yeah, but LeBron's. I guess the thing. Are you planning around LeBron's timeline, or are you planning around Luka's timeline? If you're the Lakers, interesting topic for another day. But yeah, I think that's why they keep Reeves is they're planning on Luka's timeline.
My final trade number 5 is Anthony Davis to the Atlanta Hawks. And the Atlanta Hawks give up Kristaps Porzingis, Zachary Risager, and Asa Newell. So I didn't add any first round picks. If we do add a first round pick, it'd be a future Hawks one. It wouldn't be that Pelicans pick. There's no way. I wouldn't do that. But overall, this is pretty much going all in. This is saying, hey, this is actually keeping Trae Young. You have Trae Young, you have Jalen Johnson, you have Anthony Davis. That's 3 all-star caliber players. You give up Porzingis, who is on an expiring deal. So we're probably gonna lose him in the offseason, honestly, because he's been hurt so much. I don't even think we're gonna bring him back. You give up Risager, who has a lot of potential, fits the timeline of Cooper Flag, but for the Atlanta Hawks, he does not get minutes.
Corby, you don't even believe in Risacher.
I believe in him.
You've been calling this such a fake number 1 overall pick since the day he got drafted.
Well, also I have to do that. 1, for coping reasons, but 2, Quinn Snyder doesn't play him. I have no reason to believe that he's going to be great on the Hawks because he could be having a good night and he'll get 24 minutes.
I mean, yeah, why would you give him minutes over Jalen Johnson?
Well, he doesn't have to get minutes over Jalen Johnson. He's getting minutes. Vic Krejci and Luke Kennard are getting minutes over him. That's the problem.
Do you think that's a coaching issue, or do you think
it's a coaching issue?
All right,
it is. I'm not saying you're crazy. It's 50-50. When I go on the Hawks communities online, 50% of Hawks believe Risacher is a bad player. 50% believe he's good. We just don't believe in him. We don't give him minutes. So he is a number 1 overall pick. He is young. He'd fit the timeline. He's a potential starting small forward next to Cooper Flag at the power forward position, and then Asa Newell also has potential, has been good when he's been on the court. He's 21 years old, so same timeline.
I get partially
but I also don't. You can't tell me okay, if you want me to add picks, then maybe not the Pelicans one, but some Hawks ones. You can't tell me Scoot Henderson is more value than Risacher. You can maybe say it's a better.
Look at this year's draft and tell me Risacher even goes top 7.
Scoot Henderson doesn't go top 7.
Not now. But I mean,
you mean at the
even as a
time
prospect? Look at them both as prospects. Risacher isn't going top 7. Scoot has a chance of going top 5 in this draft. As a
guess, but there's only so much you can hold on to a prospect's value.
There is, but when these guys are both young, I mean, that's the thing. Risacher was never looked at as this guy that was going to become a star. He went first in a weak draft, so it's yeah, he'll probably be a solid. If he reaches a potential, he's a solid tertiary option, a third option. But that's his ceiling.
Scoot Henderson's supposed to be the second option. You think Scoot Henderson still has a second option?
That's his potential as a point guard with that much athleticism.
I think you're believing in a Scoot too much. I mean, this is. I think Risacher does have a sort of not an all-star ceiling, but something a little bit below that. He can be a major contributor, and he's just also he's a better fit next to Cooper Flag. I understand the Mavericks need a point guard to feed Flag, but Risacher is a legit floor spacer. The threes he takes, he might not shoot the best, his percentage, but he is a no-dip shooter, meaning you literally can't leave him open because his release is that fast, versus a guy like Scoot who isn't spacing the floor. Scoot has only played so far, and I'm not saying Risacher's played winning basketball, but Scoot's only played losing basketball, and when the Blazers have been their best has been when Scoot was out. Do I think it's as good of a value as in the Pistons trade, giving up Ivy and Holland? No, but also at the same time, Ivy is an expiring. I just don't believe in AD's value that much.
Also, you're trading Porzingis right after you got him.
Yeah,
I guess, but also why would the Mavericks?
He's missed half his games. We thought that maybe he'd be a little healthy.
So
the Mavericks have nothing to do with the Hawks just getting Porzingis and trading him.
Porzingis is just kind of a salary.
He's just salary. Yeah, the Hawks don't need him because he doesn't play anyways. Him and Trae.
Okay.
So you just don't believe Risacher has the same value.
I don't believe he has that level of value.
I just think that's crazy because you put
especially as a wing and not a point guard.
Yeah, well, he needs another wing. What do you want Cooper Flag next to him to have just some role player wing? No, you want
well,
many.
I mean, they're gonna have a good pick this year. There's some pretty solid wings in this upcoming draft.
They might have a decent pick. They've been winning games, and there's some tanking
not
teams.
If they trade Anthony Davis, they're not gonna win too many games. I mean, also they were the 9th or 10th worst team last year, and they got the number 1 pick. So
yeah, so I mean, anything could happen, but it's not like Cooper Flag's a big though. They don't the second guy doesn't need to be a point guard to feed him.
I don't hate it. And Anthony Davis definitely fits better next to Trae Young.
I think Cooper Flag could win and thrive with like a Drew Holiday prototype. Like you don't need some like star point guard like a Garland. I think a Garland would be great.
Yeah.
But you don't need something like that unless you think. I think he does need like a bucket next to him, and that's not Risa J. He's not a bucket, but I don't know. I don't see Scoot being the best fit either. If you think Risa J, it's just because of fit. I guess you think ceiling, but what's your final trade?
My final trade is not the Atlanta Hawks. Shocking. My final trade is Anthony Davis to the Minnesota Timberwolves for Julius Randle, Mike Conley, Rob Dillingham, and this year's 2026 first, which San Antonio has the right to swap.
I don't know. What would they do with Julius Randle? I guess just flip him. Is he going to be part of? Actually, that is the one player that really wouldn't compliment Flag. I really don't think so.
Yeah, maybe you just flip him, or I mean, I guess you say he doesn't compliment Flag, but we also thought he wouldn't compliment like Anthony Edwards, and he has.
Who thought that?
I feel like a lot of people thought that when they traded, because they were like, he's such a heliocentric, ball dominant player that he's not going to do well next to Anthony Edwards.
I mean, he's fine. He's a good player. I don't think. I guess I said the fit was terrible. I guess it's not that bad. They're not on the same timeline. Julius Randle isn't going to teach Cooper Flag anything. You know, it's not like he's going to be a good mentor.
How do you know? He could be a good guy.
I think Julius Randle would be a good fit if they were trying to win games right now, and then he could be heliocentric while Cooper Flag doesn't have to have the ball all the time. But when it comes to the future of everything, like also Anthony Edwards is like a shooter. Like he's like arguably a top 5 shooter in the league. His 3-pointer, at least last season, he led the league in 3-pointers.
Yeah,
Ant could fit next to more players better than a Cooper Flag can.
Right now,
I kind of like Rob Dillingham, and if we get to the Timberwolves today, we can talk about it. But he's shown nothing. He's literally shown nothing, and he hasn't gotten that many minutes. But the minutes he has gotten, he has been not good.
Damn, dude. Speaking of Ant, I didn't realize that his numbers had gone up because he was averaging like 25, 26 for a solid minute there. He's averaging 29 on 49, 41, 83.
Yeah, he's been averaging like 35 points in the last like 5 games.
Yeah.
He's been playing like a superstar. I bet his under 1 game, and it didn't work out. I was like, eventually he's got to score less, and he
Good
did.
job, Corby. You finally fixed Anthony Edwards' game, betting on him.
That's what I got to do. I don't believe. I guess you get their first year. The Wolves have their own pick this year.
So San Antonio has the right to swap. So they have their pick, but they're going to get the worst between their pick and San Antonio.
So it's a pick in the late 20s.
Yeah.
I don't think the Mavericks say yes. They don't need Randall. They don't. Rob Dillingham isn't. I don't know. I don't believe Rob Dillingham. I'll be honest.
Really?
I thought that if he was going to show his talent, it was going to be immediate. And I guess I said the exact same thing about Reed Shepherd, and Reed Shepherd's proving me wrong. But I don't like it. I don't even like the prototypical like. I don't like the idea of trading for an offensive point guard. I think maybe if one falls to you in the draft, that's one you want to go with. But we look at all these offensive point guards, and they're all on the trade market. A guy like a John Morant, like a Trae Young, like a Darius Garland, like they're all in the trade market because there's way too many of them. If you're trading AD, you don't need. You can get offensive point guard in free agency.
That's true
Because they're not demanded as much.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of getting these a little more defensive minded either wings or guards. It's kind of why I went with like a Jalen Green. I went with a Ivy / really Ron Holland, a Risa J. Like, yeah. So
I drank that shit loud as hell. That's my bad.
No, you're good. I didn't hear that much, but yeah. Okay, cool. So yeah, that was our 10 Anthony Davis trades. Let us know which are the best trades, which are the worst trades. We probably had some pretty stupid ones. Are we undervaluing AD or
No, we didn't have any stupid ones. All of our trades were good. Every last one of them. Have confidence in yourself.
Part of me thinks when the AD trade happens, it'll be for a lot more than we think. And I'm a little scared for the team that is committing so many assets to Anthony Davis. And maybe that could be Edgecombe. Honestly, if you trade Edgecombe for AD, that
is like the wow, this guy could be a superstar in the future, and you really are, selling that for trying to win now.
Yeah.
But
because
Anthony Davis, Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey, Quentin Grimes, Jared McCain.
That's a contender right there.
That's a lot of talent.
They haven't won too many games, but I was scared of them as a contender, before the season. And then you add AD to that, and that's
I don't want to play them healthy if I'm a team in the East.
Oh, if you have to play them as like a 2 seed and they're a 7 seed, I'm pissed.
Yeah.
I really am.
Yeah, if I'm like the, I guess who would probably, if I'm like the Knicks or something, or even the Pistons, and I have this great season, I have to play them in the first round, I would not be happy at all.
You wouldn't want to.
Yeah.
Cool. So yeah, we can get to our next topic. The Minnesota Timberwolves have been a very interesting team so far this season. They are, I think, around that 12-8 range. They've been playing pretty good. They're not a bad team at all. I wouldn't even say that necessarily they've been disappointing. But for a team that's gone to back-to-back conference finals, wait, right? Or was it second?
Yeah,
round
back-to-back
year?
conference finals.
Yeah, for a team that's gone back-to-back conference finals, you expected them to kind of take another leap, especially with Anthony Edwards playing better recently. And so far, that hasn't been the case. There's been multiple sources that have come out that have said that, one, the Minnesota Timberwolves have been thinking of trading Julius Randle right now.
Julius Handle.
So I guess he has kind of a handle.
Yeah.
No, they've been thinking of trading Julius Randle right now while his value is the highest. And there's been other sources talking about how they need a point guard for the future and that they are looking for a point guard for the future. And I think it's pretty interesting because they did trade multiple first round picks so that they could get a point guard for the future in Rob Dillingham. And so far, they have not even been playing him. They've been playing him like 5 to 10 minutes a night. I think he might have started 1 or 2 games and he played not good. And then ever since then, they've stopped believing in him. Mm-hmm. And I really don't know what kind of move they can really make to change my thoughts on them. I think they're a really good team, but they are not a threat. They are not better than the Rockets. They are not better than the Thunder. They are not better than the Lakers. Mm-hmm. They are not better than the Nuggets. I'm picking the other team to win in every single series. I don't know what they do too, because you trade Julius Randle. What are you getting for Julius Randle that really makes you better?
Like I've seen some people say John Morant, and I don't like that at all. Like I would not want to see them trade for John Morant personally.
I wouldn't like to see it, but also they kind of do need more talent. It's kind of annoying. I think the reason that I'm so disappointed in them and the big reason that they are I'm not going to say mediocre. They're a good team, but in terms of contending, they're mediocre. It's because they've been doing horrible GMing. I think they really took the route that a lot of teams will go. One team is the 2021 Atlanta Hawks, where they have this star player that they're paying $50 million a year, and then they have a bunch of players that they're paying $20 million a year. They have Naz Reid, who's getting that money, Jaden McDaniels, who's getting that much money, Gobert's making more than that, Randall's making more than that, and they don't have a legit second star. I believe in Randall. I believe that he's a way better player than he was a couple years ago. He's really developed his game. He is not a number 2.
Is Julius Randle better than Pascal Siakam?
No.
Or do you think Pascal Siakam is significantly better than?
I wouldn't say significantly,
but you think he's better.
But he's a little bit better. But the Pacers.
So if you are the Minnesota Timberwolves, we just talked about the Bulls looking at trying to pair up their quote unquote Tyrese Halliburton with their Pascal Siakam. You have to look for a guy then that's a Pascal Siakam level guy. Not that Anthony Edwards is a Tyrese Halliburton style of player, but you need to look for that level of player. I think you can shake it up. Like I'm saying, if you trade Randall, you need to look for that kind of player. I think you can shake it up. I just don't think you shake it up by trading Randall. I think for what he's giving you, for the money, and for his performance, I don't know that you're going to get better output from anyone that you would trade for him. Now,
no, Randall's only making $35 million a year. That's good value. It's just. You have a guy in Gobert. Your combined centers are making $60 million a year, and neither are really that good. That's my opinion. I don't think Gobert is that good. I don't think Naz Reid is.
It's
that
either Naz Reid or Gobert that you need to trade. And I think, unfortunately, as much as I like Naz Reid and do not like Rudy Gobert provides more for this team than Naz Reid does, because if you trade Rudy Gobert, you don't have a center and you don't have a rim protector.
They need bench pieces. Naz Reid is a bench piece. They need multiple bench pieces.
You said something interesting. You were like, they're a Nickeil Alexander-Walker away from being a contender. You said that before we started recording. I think that's true. I think if you could get one guy or one guy plus another guy like that for a Naz Reid, that's a really good, fit upgrade.
I can't believe that they went so cheap as to not cross that second apron. They've had so much playoff success where they're almost there. They should have just paid. They have the bird rights for Nickeil. They should have just paid him whatever the Hawks did, and maybe even a little bit more if Nickeil did want more of an opportunity. He would be, bless you.
Thank you.
He would be the perfect fit right now next to Ant. Because I really don't like, even though they were successful with Mike Conley, I don't like the Mike Conley type. I like everyone on the floor being a defender. I like someone who can facilitate enough, but still give Ant some facilitating.
I genuinely don't think the Timberwolves ownership believes that this group can beat the Thunder. I genuinely think that's what it is. Because if you're in the West right now, you have to believe that your team can beat the Thunder. I think the Nuggets believe that they can beat the Thunder for sure because they took them to 7 last year. I think the Rockets believe they can beat the Thunder for sure. I think, there's actually probably a lot of teams in the West that believe they can beat the Thunder. And for whatever reason, I don't think the Timberwolves are one of them.
Which is such a stupid mindset because the Thunder aren't slowing down anytime soon. This isn't like the Warriors where eventually someone's going to leave or something. I don't believe this with the Thunder.
This is the 1950s, 60s Celtics.
Yeah.
This is like we're at the start of their dynasty and everyone is young and all of their core guys are locked up for the future.
It's going to happen until Shea declines. Once Shea starts declining, that's when I guess the window will start opening. But the Thunder, even when he starts declining, will still be contenders.
It's either once, Shea declines or like some big injury happens to Chet or J-Dub.
I really think the biggest problem with the Wolves is ownership and management, because the one thing that separates the Thunder and the Nuggets and even like the Rockets and teams like this is they find some hidden gems that they can play. This Wolves team has no hidden gems. The closest thing is a Terrence Shannon Jr., but he was still a first round pick.
And he was an old rookie.
He was an older, and he was a kind of obvious pick. He went through this terrible, I forget if it was like a murder case or an R-word case. I don't want to say the word.
Yeah.
But one of those two, and he beat the case. Like he was proven innocent. He should have been a way higher pick. So I feel like it was just too obvious for them. Their only steal was an obvious pick. Everything else, it's like they don't know how to find gems. I mean, they've had Leonard Miller on the roster for 4 years and haven't played him still.
They also don't seem to really know what kind of player to put around Anthony Edwards.
Put a guy like Nickeil. Really, I don't want to see a John Morant. I don't want to see a backcourt duo scoring wise. No, I want to see someone who can defend, and then maybe you get someone like a forward or a big, or maybe I don't know. If
you could get a Trey Murphy, that would be a great fit.
The problem is that you not believing in Jaden McDaniels? Because I can see a way where they trade Julius Randle and now McDaniels is the second guy and now he's showing his offensive talent. But they just have too much money locked up.
Or maybe you need to like try to find a way to get a Herb Jones or someone like that who's just more of a defender.
I guess, but then you're putting Ant at the point guard position. You know what's crazy though is they have a decent point guard option. They have Dante DiVincenzo. The problem is you put DiVincenzo in that starting lineup like he has been, and their bench is just terrible. Naz Reid is a good center, but they don't really, I don't know. They need like multiple pieces.
Yeah.
They've been playing like so many different guys trying to find it. I mean, they've been playing like Ingles, Bones Highland, Rob Dillingham.
Mike Conley is their 7th leading scorer, and he's only averaging 5.8 a game. You know?
They need legit depth, and that's They need to make a trade. It's just how much do teams value a Naz Reid who isn't a good defender at all? How much do teams value a Rudy Gobert who isn't a good offensive player at all? Or who else do you even want to trade?
Joan Behringer, I guess. If you're not playing him, how much do you want to commit to like developing?
But if you're not committing to Joan Behringer, why did you trade so many first round picks for Rob Dillingham? Because then it sounds like they're trying to be. It's the Warriors thing. They're trying to be old but young at the same time. That can't work.
No, you got to commit to one or the other.
Unless you're such a good GM that you have so many future first round picks like a Thunder, then you can't do that. I'm just trying to. They didn't. What sucks for the Timberwolves is they didn't have a standard rebuild.
Yeah.
Their only top pick was Anthony Edwards. I feel like this probably would have gone a lot smoother.
Would they have got like a second, top pick,
like a second star? Yeah.
Yeah,
which you can't say Randall is. Gobert's making second star money. He's making Jalen Green money, Sengun, when he doesn't contribute that. We'll see. I mean, the Wolves they're most likely going to be 14-8 after these next 2 games when they hopefully beat the Pelicans twice in a row. Mm-hmm. So the record will be good. It's just I won't see them in that top caliber of team. But I feel like if they going into the offseason said, hey, we're going to be a second apron team and we are going to commit, then they will contend.
The problem is slightly and Anthony
Shea could get hurt. Shea could tear his ACL.
He could. Anything could happen.
So why wouldn't you go all in?
But my thing about it is Anthony Edwards in a lot of ways. He's been playing great recently. Is he a first-tier superstar? I think that is the question you need to ask yourselves if you're the Minnesota Timberwolves. Yes, he has the personality, he has the aura, he has the all of that stuff you look for from a star player from like a marketing perspective, and that's why the NBA pushes him. From a talent perspective, you as the Timberwolves have to sit down as an organization and go, do we have a first-tier superstar, or is he a second-tier superstar that needs another guy next to him in order to like another like, you know, guy?
He's a 1A, meaning
You need a 1B.
there's only 5 guys in that top tier is the problem. It's only Jokic,
Shea, Luka, Giannis.
Probably. I don't even want to put Wemby in that tier though. Honestly, I want to put Wemby a tier below. I know he's been playing amazing, but we've seen no playoff play. Like we don't know. Can you stop doing that? Look at distracting me. I think it's just those 4. And I think there's another tier below that says you are really, really, really good, like an Ant or a Wemby, but you do need some help that isn't just role players. You need someone who's not a role player. Even Jokic kind of needs someone who's not a role player in Jamal Murray. And we can have that role player talk either this week or next week, depending on how much time we have. But most guys in the NBA are role players.
I don't think you can quite put Wemby in that category yet.
Of the very top?
Of the very top,
Yeah,
but he's close.
You have to prove it in the playoffs. That very top one. But like the second tier, he
Yeah.
is in there. And Ant's in there. And Cade's in there. Yeah. So that's enough. As long as you have some good pieces, then you're a contender. Tatum's in that too. Tatum's in that same tier of not the top one, but the second one.
Right.
And they won a championship with him as long as they give him a Jaylen Brown, which Julius Randle can't be. Maybe he can be a Jaylen Brown. I personally wouldn't bet on it. I wouldn't get him on it.
No, I agree.
So you instead of having these like 6 solid pieces, you need to trade. It's not possible now because of how the contracts work, but trade 2 of them for like a legit second guy, like a Jaylen Brown, like a
Dude, I gotta stop touching the mic. Anyway, yeah.
Cool. That's all I have to say. Rob Dillingham, I don't believe in him because the Wolves don't believe in him. Why should I when they're giving him 5-10 minutes a night?
Okay, but you could say the same thing about Reese Shea. You could say the same thing about Scoot. You could say the same thing about a lot of guys we just talked about for the Anthony Davis trades. Why should anybody believe in those guys if they're not getting minutes? If Vit Krejci, but you're saying that's a coaching thing. So selectively, are you saying like it's because Rob Dillingham is bad here, but it's a coaching thing for Reese Shea? Because if I'm looking at the Hawks and I'm saying you're a number 1 overall pick from last year and Vit Krejci and Luke Kennard are getting minutes over you, why would I trade for you? Why? What would incentivize me to do that?
Listen, I have my own opinions. That's it. I'm not blaming anyone for not believing in Reese Shea. I don't believe in any non-Hawks fan because he hasn't developed too much. But personally, I've watched enough Reese Shea to know I think he could still be really good. And I guess the problem is Reese Shea's getting minutes. Dillingham's literally not getting minutes. Like Reese Shea, I'm saying he's not getting enough minutes. He's still playing 25 minutes a night on a good team. Dillingham's playing 10.
Yeah.
If that. That's way, way worse. And going into the draft, I thought Reese Shea was a better player than Dillingham. So it's a combination of those things.
Yeah.
There's way more reason for me to believe in Reese Shea than Dillingham, and I don't believe in Dillingham. And I want to see the minutes. I want to see how he's playing, but he's barely been playing. Mm-hmm. And the problem is they really need a point guard. I think that Krejci's been playing good enough where that's why he'd play over. Luke Kennard's been playing good enough. The Wolves need good point guard play.
Yeah, no one's been playing that good, and they're still not playing them. So that's fair.
Yeah,
but
so that's really all I have to say about the Wolves.
I don't have a ton more for them.
They just pissed me off. They should have went all in. Nikhil would have been the perfect fit. Maybe they should have. Maybe the Wolves should have given him more responsibility to show that, wow, Nikhil can be an 18-point per game guy. They should have started him over Mike Conley, but they wanted to value Mike Conley's leadership. And Mike Conley's a good leader. Did you see the video? I don't think I sent it to you or anything, but there was Mike Conley hit a 3 in like at the end of a game in like the 4th quarter or whatever, and he dapped up the rest of his teammates. He has like 10 different handshakes with 10 different teammates. Like the fact that people memorize all that is crazy. He just went in a line.
Him and LeBron, man.
Yeah.
Dude, that video of LeBron talking to the Mavs bench and they're all just like laughing their asses off and having a great time, and Cooper Flag's having a great time, and then the camera just pans over to D'Lo and he's like, that dude hates LeBron. He actually does.
Whatever. D'Lo sucks.
That's the thing. D'Lo sucks, and he's also a bad locker room presence.
Yeah, I don't know why. I guess that's why he signed for $5 million.
Yeah.
So wasted talent. Because we love the yap and 3 topics took an hour and 20 minutes. We're gonna end the pod there. If you guys did watch the whole thing, we really appreciate it. If you could like it, that'd be great. Yeah, comment about the trade packages, what you think about the Wolves, or were our power rankings stupid? I mean, one of us didn't have the Lakers in the top 10.
I had them. I put them at 4. Okay, I put them at 4 eventually.
Okay.
Just took me a minute to get there.
And then, yeah, any final words, Cam?
Schadenfreude.
What?
Schadenfreude.
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 What does that mean?
You said if I have any final words.
That's what you'd say?
That's my final word.
I'd say like
Schadenfreude.
Well, that's a good word. I'd say be in control of your own destiny. Wow, that's pretty sick and introspective.
Yeah, really reflect inwards,
Reflect inwards.
Yeah.
All right, peace out.